Welcome to the September issue of Broadcast. My name is Patricia Egbert. I'm from the Diocese of Kentucky, and this is the Committee for the Adult Ministry.
Hi, my name is Elaine Ward. I'm from the Diocese of Montana.
I'm Nicole Seifert from the Diocese of New York.
Hi, I'm Lucas Grubbs. I'm from the Diocese of Idaho.
Hi, my name is Moses. I'm from Dominican Republic.
My name is Ewart Jones, and I'm from the Diocese of Texas. In a nutshell, this committee serves the purpose of providing resources and networking opportunities for young adult ministers and young adults all throughout the Episcopal Church. It's our hope that we can provide these services to you in a timely and efficient manner. Thank you for your attention, and good night.
This month's edition of Broadcast continues our series on health and the lives and ministries of young adults and students, with an issue on nutrition. Ministers and young adults explore our relationship to food and our health as it intersects with our lives of faith and issues of justice in our world. We encourage you to join in this exploration and check out the links and ministry suggestions following each article. But first, last weekend in Baltimore, diocesan coordinators for young adult ministry from across the church gathered to share their common stories, common struggles, and successes, and to begin forming relationships to help us move forward as a body of ministers. We encourage you to contact your diocesan coordinator to hear more, but here's a clip from Darren Taylor in South Carolina talking about his diocese's approach to young adult ministry.
We have small churches, we have big churches. Over half of our churches probably are in that 100 range. And I question what I have to offer them. And then there's barely any young adults in their little village. But what I've offered them is more of a consulting role in helping them think more missionally. What I learned within the first few weeks of being in South Carolina, it's hard to coordinate young adult ministry when you don't have a lot of young adults you gather. There's no traction, there's no critical mass, and so I know a lot of us even ask the question, a lot of our churches, where do you even start? And that's where I've been, again, given the freedom to really focus in. When they brought me on, they wanted me to be very specific in walking alongside of churches and taking the personality and the culture of any given church and not necessarily trying to change that completely, but how do I embrace what they're about, but yet start to help them think through what is the impression that we're giving off in our community? Is this really a welcoming place? And people will ask me, well, what are the values? And then Segue is the name that I gave our young adult focus in our diocese, hitting on just the transitionary part, the transient part journey in life. But those really, I guess I'd envisioned, and I guess personal struggle when I hit the ground in January of 2007 there, everything about me wanted to get a retreat together. I got to pull things together. I got to get our young adults all together. I got to start creating programs. The other guys on our diocesan team in youth and faith formation, they have been there longer than me, but they have really created some incredible programs. And I put that weight upon me and said, well, this is what I need to do. And quite honestly, for 3.5 years or so, there's been no traction. I've not felt that. There's part of me that still wants to do that when the time is right. But right now, it's more about helping churches, where they are in their community, start thinking about this generation of people that has been left behind, so to speak. I would have thought that there would be more values as well to shape this ministry, but I came up with two, and these landed on me probably within the first 6 months of starting in South Carolina. And again, it's not revolutionary, but the one thing that came to mind was just the need to partner. So many of our ministries and churches have been trying, what I learned is they've been trying to engage with this group, this generation for years. And they would have a good season and then bad and nothing that would sustain itself. What I learned is, and I'm a really proponent of just working ecumenically with people, and I started challenging our congregations to think about partnering with other churches. And in some of our places we have more than one Episcopal church. What would it look like for you guys to come together and join your efforts? But also encourage, what would it look like to partner with those outside the Episcopal world? There are most of the churches that we interact with have a heart for this. Most of the churches in our country are not being successful. Apart from being in huge urban areas, the majority of churches are trying to really unlock the keys to engaging this generation. What would it look like to come alongside? For one, I think a lot of young adults they question, why is there all these denominations things? Why are we all segmented in the first place? What would it look like for us to lock arms with the Baptists and the Presbyterians and the Methodists and the Catholics and really go after engaging this generation together? That's worked out really well. I've really challenged, and this is more outside the box, but what would it look like to partner with those really already community-based organizations, whether they're businesses or a Parks and Rec department or so forth? What would it look like for us to come in and say, we're here as ABC Church, we want to help you do your job better. We want you to be successful. It's very close to the second value of just using the word incarnational and really looking at what Jesus did, and that he did not tell his disciples, hey, would you go round up the troops and get them to come to me? And so I'm going to stay right here in Jerusalem. I like this park that I hang out in. So go get them and bring them in here, and I want to tell them about the kingdom. Well, no, he traveled. He went out to the people. He met people where they were.
More information and resources from our meeting will become available as we continue our work together over coming weeks and months. Check out the rest of this issue of Broadcast at episcopalcommons.org/broadcast/September 2010. And don't forget to send us your submissions for next month's issue, which will continue our series on health with an issue on addiction. Stay tuned and stay in touch. We give thanks for the work you do.